Hello class. Today we are going to be working on making more complex sentences. So first, let's start by reviewing what we did last time. Do you remember how to combine a sentence? How to combine two sentences with the words after, before, when, or while? Let's try this sentence. Jane ate lunch. Jane did homework. How do we combine those sentences? How do we mix them together using after, before, or while? Jane ate lunch after she did homework. Okay, let's try another one. Jane watched TV. John did laundry. How do we combine those sentences? Jane watched TV while John did laundry. We can also say Jane watched TV after John did laundry, or Jane watched TV before John did laundry. But in this sentence, while is maybe the best word. So today we will work on making these sentences shorter and more simple. This is called reducing adverb clauses. So I will give you an example. Let's go back to the first sentences. Jane ate lunch, Jane did homework. The combined sentence was, Jane ate lunch after she did homework. So how do we make this sentence shorter than it already is? We reduce the adverb clause. The adverb clause is the clause that comes after the adverb. In this sentence, the adverb is the word after, right? So the adverb clause is she did homework. The way that we reduce this clause is by taking away the subject, she is the subject, and changing the verb to the progressive tense. So if we do that, the sentence becomes, Jane ate lunch after doing homework. Do you see the doing here is in progressive tense? And where did she go? Remember we had she here, the subject, right? She is gone. The subject is gone in the adverb clause, and since it's been reduced, we now call it an adverb phrase. Okay, let's try a different example. Remember this one? Jane watched TV, John did laundry. The combined sentence was, Jane watched TV while John did laundry. Now, this sentence is a little bit different, and we cannot reduce it the way we did the old sentence. So this is the first rule of reducing adverb clauses in English. So, to reduce an adverb clause, you need two things. First, the adverb clause must start with when, while, before, or after. Second, the main clause and the adverb clause must have the same subject. I'll give you an example. So back to our first sentence. Jane ate lunch after she did homework. Remember our two original sentences, Jane ate lunch and Jane did homework? They have the same subject, right? Jane is the subject. Jane ate lunch after Jane, or she, did homework. This is the main clause, Jane ate lunch, And this is the adverb clause. She did homework, right? They have the same subject. Now, let's look at the other sentence. Jane watched TV while John did homework. Does the adverb clause start with when, while, before, or after? Yes, it does. But does the main clause and the adverb clause have the same subject? No, they don't, right? Jane is the subject of the main clause, and John is the subject of the adverb clause. Because of this, we cannot reduce this sentence. Okay, so let's move on to a different sentence. Jane did homework before she went swimming. How can we reduce this sentence? Does it use when, while, before, after? Yes, it does, right? Before is right here. Is the subject the same? Let's check. Jane did homework. Jane is the subject of the main clause. Before, she went swimming. She and Jane are the same, right? So yes, they have the same subject. Is it the present progressive or the past progressive? Excuse me, is it present tense or is it past tense? It's past tense, right? So, how do we reduce this sentence? Remember our steps? First, we take away the subject from the adverb clause. In this case, we take away she, right? We throw away she. Next, we have to put an ing on the main verb of the adverb clause. Now, this one's irregular, right? To go is irregular. So what do? We take the infinitive form and put ing. The infinitive form is go, right? So going is the correct form to use. So what do we get? Excuse me. What do we get? Jane did homework before, excuse me, this is a typo, before going swimming. I'll fix that. Jane did homework before going swimming. Right? So we took away the subject of the adverb clause, right? We took away she, and we added the ing onto the main verb. Let's try one more sentence. After Jane went swimming, she went running. Jane really likes exercise. So this time, the adverb is at the beginning of the sentence, right? After is the adverb. Before, it was in the middle of the sentence, right? So what do we do here? First, we need to find the adverb clause. So before I said the adverb clause is the clause that comes after the adverb, right? If after is the adverb, then the adverb clause is Jane went swimming, right? So where is the main clause? The main clause actually comes after the comma this time. She went running. So how do we reduce this to an adverb phrase? we have two things marked off our checklist, right? It starts with before, when, after, or while, and the subject is the same, right? So to reduce this, we first take away the subject of the adverb clause. This time the subject in the adverb clause is Jane, right? So if we take away Jane, then we have to turn to the main verb in this clause, which is went, right? We talked about this last time, where went, or to go, is an irregular verb. So we need to get the infinitive form of the verb, which is to go, and add ing, so it becomes going. So how do we make this sentence, right? After, this is another typo, I'm sorry. After going swimming, Jane went running. After going swimming, Jane went running, right? We took away the subject from the adverb clause, right? There's no Jane anymore in the adverb clause, and we added the ing onto the infinitive form of the main verb, right? This is correct. So now we're going to do a little exercise. So we're going to use an old sentence. Let's see. An old sentence. Here we go. Jane ate lunch after doing homework. Can you reverse this process? Can you unreduce this sentence? What did we do to reverse it first? We took the subject out of the adverb clause, right? After doing homework, we took the subject out and we added ing to the verb, do, right? So what do we do to reverse the process? First, we take off the ing, right? Now we need to make it past tense because ate is also past tense. So doing becomes did, right? What's the other thing we did? Remember, we took away the subject, right? So now we have to add it back in. So the old sentence was, Jane ate lunch after she did homework. Please try it again with one of our newer sentences. After going swimming, Jane went running. Please put this back into unreduced form. So how do we do that? First, we take away the ing and put the verb back into past tense, right? Because went is also in past tense. Then we put the subject back in. So the old sentence was, after Jane went swimming, she went running. Okay. So let's try some new sentences. After John rode his bike, he ate a hot dog. Please work with a partner and try to reduce this sentence. Okay, so the new sentence should be, after riding his bike, John ate a hot dog. Why is this correct? Right? It fits our rules, starts with after, before, while, or when, and the adverb clause and the main clause have the same subject, right? John is the subject. So because the adverb clause comes first, the ing also goes into the adverb clause. So we need to put rode into the progressive form. So that is riding, right? We added ing. So if we take away the subject, it becomes, after riding his bike, John ate a hot dog. Okay, let's try one more. Jane ate lunch while she watched a movie. Jane ate lunch while she watched a movie. Please work with the same partner and reduce this sentence. Okay, so the new sentence should be, Jane ate lunch while watching a movie. And this is because, right, the adverb clause comes after while, because while is the adverb. She watched a movie, right? So to reduce this, we take away the subject, which is she, and we need to make watched into progressive form. So we need to say watching. We need to add ing, right? So, Jane ate lunch while watching a movie. So, next, we are going to turn to page 226 in our textbooks, and we're going to work on exercise 3.2. So, this is what the page looks like. All right, and we are going to use the information in this table to make new complex sentences just like we practiced before. So I will start and help you with an example. So number 1, the first action is, some people discover they have a serious illness. The second action is, some people find help through online support groups. So which adverb would be best in this to combine these sentences? Is it when, while, after, or before? In this case, it's after, right? So the first, we're going to put the adverb in front of the first action. So the first action will become your adverb clause, right? So what do we do to reduce an adverb clause, right? We take away the subject and we add the ing to the main verb. So this sentence or this clause becomes, after discovering they have an illness, now comes the second action, right? Some people find help through online support groups. Does that make sense? Okay, try to complete the rest of this activity on your own, and I will come around and answer questions.